What are the 5 top mistakes that people make when bringing their dogs to Hawaii? We're going to go over that today. My name's Jasmine Bell, and I am one of the team leaders and owners of Hawaii Home Group, and I'm super excited to step you through this process so you don't make the mistake of leaving your baby at home. The very first mistake that I hear so many people make is believing that their dog has to be quarantined for 120 days, and therefore they make the decision to either leave them behind or just subject them to the 120-day quarantine. That could not be further from the truth. There are direct release programs as well as the 5-day or less program, and there are checklists to help you through qualifying your dog for these programs. It's significantly less expensive to have your dog qualify for the 5-day or less program than it is to subject your dog to the full quarantine status. Let's run the numbers on that. The 120-day quarantine program costs $1,080 per pet. The 5-day or less quarantine program costs $244 per pet. The direct release program costs $185 per pet. So in the short of it, having your pet qualify for direct release is really the most affordable option, and it's extremely achievable using the Department of Agriculture's checklist. I know it can be a little bit daunting, it is quite lengthy, but we're gonna try to do our best to break it down. And if you still have questions, well then you can book a call with us. I will put our information on the screen, and that is definitely a call I will take, and I will step you through that process, because that is very near and dear to my heart. The second mistake that most people make is they wait too long to get started on this process. As soon as you get your orders or even some soft orders to Hawaii, or you are thinking about moving here and you start to put plans into place, you need to take your pet directly to the vet to see if they're up to date on their rabies vaccinations. If they're up to date on their rabies vaccinations, ask if they go ahead and qualify for the FAVN test. If they qualify for the FAVN test, let's go ahead and get that done as soon as possible. The FAVN blood test results, which are basically testing for your pet's antibodies to rabies vaccinations, can take anywhere from, depending on which source you believe. Hawaii's sources say that it could take up to 2 months. According to Kansas State, where most likely the blood is going to be tested, it could take up to 2 to 3 weeks. But I myself have done this process more than once, and I've had multiple clients and friends go through this process, and it has taken well over 3 months. So the sooner you jump on this, the better. I'm not saying that yours is going to take 3 months and, oh no, doom, there's no way that you can get it done in time. I'm really just saying that we don't know how long it's going to take, and sooner is better than later. So as soon as you have an inkling, if you're watching this video, you think you're going to have to move your pet to Hawaii, you can pause the video and call your vet. That would be a great idea right about now. The third mistake that I see people make is they book the ticket, they get their dog to the airport, and they're denied because of the crate that they chose. To avoid that happening, let's go over the basics that your crate needs to meet if you're going to be flying your dog in cargo. You're going to have to contact your specific airline to make sure that their requirements are not above this. So that's the disclaimer that I want to put out there. The rest of this is that your dog must be able to stand up and turn around in the crate without touching. So if your dog's ears are pointed, I've seen people get denied for this, so just keep that in mind. The other thing I want to point out is that the crate cannot be collapsible. So this crate needs to be solid and sturdy. And the last thing is that the water and food bowl needs to be able to be filled from the outside but attached to the inside of the crate. Now let's talk about the fourth mistake that people make, and that is in booking their transportation. There's two parts to this, so I'm just gonna throw it out there. The first is going to be that your flight needs to arrive by 3:30. The reason why is because it could take your airline up to an hour to transport your pet from cargo to the quarantine center. And at the quarantine center, that's where they're gonna go through the paperwork and qualify them for the direct release program. So again, your flight needs to arrive by 3:30. Now, the second part of booking your flight that people make the mistake of is that they forget about the temperature changes. There are temperature regulations that your dog cannot fly in. So let's talk about those really quick. Dogs cannot be exposed to air temperatures above 85 degrees or below 45 degrees. That's why if you are traveling between May 1st and September 30th, between Las Vegas, Phoenix, Palm Springs, California, or Tucson, Arizona, you really need to pay attention. I would also add Texas to that list of places that I would really pay attention to when your flight is coming and going. I've had many clients choose to take two different flights and to fly half of the trip on a Friday and the second half on a Saturday. So then they can arrive at night into California and leave in the morning before the temperature gets too high. And that also helps break up the flight for your pet. The fifth and final mistake that I see people make is in regards to the health certificate. Now, again, I'm gonna break this into two parts where people mess it up. Number one, it does need to be done within 14 days of arrival, but a lot of people wait until they have that health certificate and then mail all the paperwork at once. You're not gonna do that. You're going to mail all of the other paperwork prior, and you're gonna get that health certificate a little bit closer to when your takeoff time is, maybe within 5 days of your flight leaving. So if for any reason the temperatures are too high or your flight gets canceled, your certificate will still be good. I've seen people have to pay for 2 health certificates. So maybe just try to squeeze those dates a little bit closer together, and then you can always overnight that last form or just bring it with you, and that's okay too. Also, you're gonna want 3 copies of that health certificate because there's gonna be more than one person that asks for it. The airline might ask for that health certificate as well. Now, the last and final mistake that people make with the health certificate is that they think that any old veterinarian can do it and they don't make the proper appointment. It has to be an accredited veterinarian, and you need to ask them if they are an accredited veterinarian that can perform the health certificate. It's not hard, you just need to call and ask. You probably have one in your town, but you do need to try to make sure that you ask them ahead of time. Last thing you want to do is get there, pay for a health certificate that you can't use. If any of that sounded daunting for any reason, please know that you're not alone and that most people get overwhelmed by this checklist, but we are 100% here to help. We believe that a home is not a home without your furry loved ones, and we want to make sure that we can help make Hawaii a home for you. So if you have any questions, again, feel free to reach out. We're gonna put our contact information on the phone. My name's Jasmine Bell, and I'm one of the team leaders and owners of Hawaii Home Group, and I really look forward to helping making this move to Hawaii a little bit less stressful for you. Aloha.